Hello, everybody.
That's a good
I'm
voice.
very excited today.
I think we're on.
I know.
Okay.
And Chrissy just said that I scream when I'm
So
excited. I get loud.
That's okay. You can get loud. We'll allow it.
Well, we're excited. I think that's why it's a good thing. We're just really excited about having Jared with us. So
yes, excited to be here.
Welcome everybody to our special Wednesday night edition of the Freedom Exchange. I'm Allison and this is Christy. You want to share? We haven't seen each other for a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't. It's been a little while, but we're busy. Lots of stuff. But after this, we always go on a long hike afterward for about 2 hours. So we'll do all that. The only thing is it's winter now, so it's getting darker. So we got to get those headlamps so we don't get run over.
We usually are in our tank top and it's beautiful, and now it's getting cold. But we get excited when we have these amazing humans on our show, and then go get it all out. And do you want to ask that one question now or later?
Yeah, I want to ask the one question.
We have something that's been burning on our mind since we first reached out to you.
So I want to know, why did you say yes to us? Because we're a little town in Oregon with a few followers, just with a lot of passion. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to Jared just to see if the off chance. And when you said yes, I was like, oh my gosh, you said yes. So I'd like to know why you said yes, Jared.
Easy, because just because you're a little town doesn't exclude you guys from a big issue. You know what I mean? It's because you are where you are. It's still the United States, no matter what, and the powers that be still have sway over you like they do us over here. That's exactly why. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's great. That's a great answer. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. We're excited about this. We've been talking about you specifically a lot and all that you're doing, which we'll get into. Do you want to say what the Freedom Exchange is?
Yeah, the Freedom Exchange was birthed out of a desire to have conversations with people that have been impacted by incarceration, whether people that have been inside or people that are doing work to help people get out. And it's really to squash stigma, bridge communities. My favorite thing is when my people get to know my new people, and it's just like, it makes me so happy when other people during the day say, hey, so how's Kendrick doing? Or, you know, how's Jared? I can't wait to talk to listen to Jared. And so that's the joy. So that's what the Freedom Exchange is. We're really grateful that you're here and our people are here.
Well, and it's done cool things too. Like my daughter just started her freshman year of college in a criminal justice class, and one of our former guests immediately texted me and said, let her know as soon as she needs someone to talk to or research. Awesome. I'm there for her. I'm like, that is community.
And she would have never done criminal justice. She's like a little,
I think she's been exposed to this, and it's a very interesting and important world. And I think that's one reason we do the show too, is for those that haven't been incarcerated, this is a foreign concept, a foreign world, foreign conversation. And when we have them, they're like, oh my gosh, these people are shocked. I know you don't like to say these people, that community of people
are shocked. Yeah. People get shocked by what people in prison go through and the length of time and all that. So we're highlighting that.
So since we saw you, Jared, you sent us this video, you know, the video I'm talking about, that right when we got off the car.
Yeah.
So can you describe to our audience kind of like a day in the life of like what your environment looks like, where you put yourself on a daily basis? Like paint a picture. You know how to paint.
So my day usually starts, it's uneventful. I just wake up, I get to the train as soon as I can. And luckily for me, I'm only a half an hour away from my studio. So my studio is in Silver Arts Projects. It was a residency that I was awarded. Thankful to them so much. The 28th floor of the World Trade Center, of the building number 4, not the big one. The big one is number 1. So this is number 4. It's on the side, still a giant skyscraper, and it's great up there. There's 25 other artists there, and we're all together and on this one floor. It's amazing. So I spend most of my day there. You know, and there's a lot of traffic that comes through. There's 25 people there. So it's always somebody, a curator, somebody knows, somebody in the art world coming through all the time. So it's good. It's great spot. So I love it. I look forward to going there.
How inspirational. No. Can you imagine?
No. Can you share what your work is for our audience that doesn't know what you do?
So my work confronts the carceral state visually, you know, I use right now, I'm going through a period in which I'm doing these shadow figures. The shadow figures, if you look at my work, they're indicative of how the mind's eye out here sees people that are incarcerated just like they're shadows, like they don't even exist. So I'm currently just hammering that home with the work that I'm doing right now. On the side, I do other things. I sculpt. About to start ceramics again, which the last time I did was in prison. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, and I mean, I paint. I don't really say what I am as a painter. I make objects. You know, I paint, but I make objects. You know,
And your heart's motivation is to bring
awareness.
Awareness.
Yeah, it's awareness. Yeah, I mean, pretty pictures for over a couch is one thing, but you know, you got to be responsible if you're a member of society. You know, and make people see what's going on in the place that they live. Super important.
Love that.
I love that you do it from a place of your natural, just what's
Experience.
inside of you. What?
Experience.
Your experience, but also what's inside of you. That is not how I'm going to bring awareness. That's not how I'm going to express my heart for this community. But it's the thing that you know that you've been gifted with, that you know is in you. I think you used the word prolific in our conversation, that you are constantly inventing and creating, and it's flowing out of you, and you have to suppress it because it's so much, whether it's through music or art or just your creativity. And it's just beautiful when like the thing you were gifted with meets your passion, meets loving people and awareness. Like it's just
powerful.
It's powerful, and it naturally flows. That's me and Tom.
You know what? That's you talking. You know what's cool too? I heard a phrase today that I love. I wonder if it resonates with you. They called it an experience activist.
Oh,
I like that one.
Me too.
I call myself a stealth activist.
Stealth?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Like it's not what you expect in the work you do, but then boom.
No, I mean, it's not just that. Like, there's a lot of things I do that I don't like to just like put on display all the time. I just do them. You know, it's better that way. I don't like to be all, you know, in front of the camera and here I am in front of the camera. But you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just do it and it be done. You know, a lot of people do activism that nobody's ever going to see. So, but that's cool. You know?
Oh, that's why you're the stealth activist.
Yeah.
Someone else I know that does that too.
Yeah, cool. I was going to say that other person you're talking about kind of does a similar thing.
In the background, the ghost, he calls himself.
Oh, are we doing a shout out to the ghost? So a word that Christy and I say a lot, not on purpose, is the word juxtaposition, because we find it so interesting in life. I use the word and a lot. There's, you know, this, how do we describe this? You know, this world of incarceration, and it has all these harsh and hard pain connotations to it. And it's so beautiful. People discover their superpowers in there, and the ones that can come out and do what you're doing, and all, you know, all the different ways that people do that. There's this juxtaposition. So you gave us this visual of New York, the World Trade Center. You're high up there, you're doing your work. Can you also share with us the juxtaposition of what a day in the life of prison was like for you?
Believe it or not, it was the same exact thing. So
what prison were you?
It was the same. So,
it wasn't my prison.
the trick where I was you know, you have a power dynamic that you can't do anything about. It's the guards, it's the rules, it's everything. And then, you know, you got to be counted, all of those things. So the trick where I was incarcerated was they had art programs, but they weren't fully developed. They were like at like 20% capacity by my reckoning. So what happened was I worked my way in over years into a position where I had influence. And what I did was I created a better painting program than they had, and then more teaching for other prisoners that were in there with us, things like that. So, you know, when I'd wake up in the morning, I didn't really watch TV. I woke up in the morning and went straight to the studio. So we had ceramics, we had painting. So that's where I spent all of my time. Like, I lived there. So it's like I'm doing the same exact thing. The only stop I had is when I was in South Carolina. Then it was different. Then I had 9 to 5. You know, it wasn't the same. Now I'm back to what I was doing when I was in prison. It's crazy. It's the weirdest thing. It's like the same schedule. You know, wake up early, go spend all day.
I would say there's something about perspective there too. Like
what do you mean?
like you could say something different, right?
Yeah.
The facts and the details of where you were, how long you were there, what people were like around you, what you had to wear, what you had to eat, those facts never change. But your decision to have a perspective of, I'm going to get up, I'm going to do life, I'm going to keep enriching my world and growing and learning. And that was your perspective. And then your outcome looks different than if you were to have this negative perspective.
Yeah, because you could talk about negative.
But you still can, because it's still the truth, it's still there, but you're not in that path. And that's our encouragement to anybody, whether you're in prison or not in prison, is check your perspective.
Yeah.
How can
boredom is good though. You know, never forget that. Boredom is good because, you know, boredom makes you creative, you know, so it's good to, even out here, I try to force myself to be bored. Then that's when I can stop and think and say, oh.
It makes you creative, or it gives an opportunity for you to choose creativity?
Nah, I think you automatically, when you get bored, you're just like, you know, all of a sudden the dirt on the floor looks like an abstract painting. You're just being creative in your mind, you know? You're sitting in solitary.
Jared, no, I think you are special in that, actually, because we're gonna
challenge that.
Well, yeah, and isn't part of one of your paintings from the soil from the prison?
Yeah. A lot. It's in a lot of my paintings. Yeah. So when I was there, I met a conceptual artist, and he was using bed sheets as his medium. So I didn't want to do what he did. So what I did was I took the soil. That was my thing. So I sent jars of that home because I was in charge of sending everybody's stuff home. So
I was gonna say,
did you do that? Was that legal?
So no, it's legal. So what happens is this: it's you could send packages home, you know, that of your property, things that you made, because technically it's still your property. So, you know, in the feds, they're just like, okay, it's your property, you made it. If you drew a painting on a piece of paper or whatever, then it's your property, you can send it home. That's the rules. So in the art room, you make a project, and we had big projects, ceramics that were like this big, what else? Paintings that we would just roll up. So there was constant flow to the mailroom. So it wasn't really hard for me to like roll up a painting and stick a jar of like peanut butter from commissary with dirt in it. It was a no-brainer. I can hand it right to you. You wouldn't even know because it's rolled up in a cylinder.
Wow.
You know? So that's how I would do that. Sometimes I would just put the soil in the vase, you know.
I love that so much.
Yeah, that's what you would do.
Yeah, but you had to
I
get creative.
Allow that.
Crafty. I like the craftiness.
Yeah, I had to know that I was going to use it though. You know, I knew that there will come a time to use it, so now I'm using it. And I'm glad I sent it from there because I don't want to go back and get any more. It's actually, there's a finite amount of it. So it's like gold to me, you know? Yeah.
So is there something about holding that soil in your hands when you're, you know, getting ready to use it and then thinking, wow, I used to like walk on the soil and now
we were both at this place together.
Here.
Yeah, it is. It's like that guy on Saving Private Ryan when he was taking all the dirt and taking it with him. You know, it was like, it felt like that. And yeah, it's weird when you touch it. I think about that sometimes. Definitely, I'm like, wow, this material came from like a place like I can never get this again. Like literally, like the chances of it coming out are super high, even though it's just dirt to somebody. But when you spend 13 years, you know, sweating on it and all the people that walked over it, all the history that's in it, you know, in and of itself, because, you know, soil absorbs. So that's another like conceptual element of it in my work is that it's a medium that absorbs. Yeah, it's an absorbing medium.
There's a lot to that. Ooh, there's a lot to
Which
that.
prison again?
I was in FCI Ferreton in New Jersey, like right outside Philly, like 45 minutes outside of Philly.
So Jared, one of the other things that I remember from our conversation was you didn't use the word manifesting, but you had started while you were in prison, visualizing, dreaming, creating what your world was going to be when you got out. Do you want to share? I'm sure you remember that part of the conversation. Do you want to share about that? What you had started there that you're doing now?
I mean, for me, here again, it was like I didn't skip a beat. The first thing I did when I got out, I was like, I wanted to go to Lowe's. I didn't want to go to disco. I didn't want to go anything. I wanted to go buy material. I wanted to go buy power tools. You know, I wanted power tools. Like those are the things that I lusted after. Art material. You know, those are the things I still lust for them. I go on Lowe's, like my favorite place in the world, or Home Depot. I'm like, So it's for me, it's exactly, the same, I haven't changed it really much since being incarcerated, other than, I guess my PTSD is my art practice, like it's because it's so intertwined.
Can we talk about your PTSD? Because I remember asking you about vulnerability and about how you how that looks in your life, and then I remember you said, "Will you share?" I know, but remember there was a fine line between macho man and vulnerability. So will you share that?
So for me, I don't like. I mean, I read the DSM, the manual, like 1,000 times. That was like my little Bible. And so I did little tricks to keep from getting PTSD. Like when there would be large movements in the prison, I would get there when I got there. Like I would be like, I'll just walk out when I feel like it. Like I would do little tricks to myself so that I wouldn't be institutionalized. So like when they call chow and everybody's like ready to go run to the dining hall, like I never did that. Like I was always moseying along. Like, when I get there, I'm gonna get there. So I would, even though I was inside of there, I was really out here, and that's how I kept from having PTSD. Like I know guys that I was with that I'm in contact with now that still have it, like for real. So, I knew how to identify what it is and how to stop it from manifesting in oneself, and it just takes it's not that hard. Just you got to stay busy in your mind. You got to stay, your physical constraints are one thing, but when you if you let your mind not stay busy, that's when you're going to get in trouble. You start to have issues. So
good point. Yeah. That's like when I would run around the track and I would increase my mile every month. And so, towards the end, it got a lot. And so I'd be like, and I pretend in my mind that, and I would literally say, okay, now I'm in Texas. Now I'm running through Oklahoma, and wow, I'm still in Oregon. Do I go to California? I'm like making these whole stories in my mind, just instead of running around and around and around in a track 50 times or something. But yeah, it's important. So why do you think someone like you did prison like that versus a lot of other people that just go with the flow of, like you said, be the first one ready to go out the door, and the whole thing?
It has a lot to do with how much time they had. A lot of guys didn't have a lot. Some guys didn't have a lot of time, 3-4 years, which sounds crazy to somebody out here to say that. But when you have, how it is, we have 3 or 4 years and you're around guys with life and 30 and 15 years like me, 18 years, stuff like that, then, it's your mind's totally different. So that's where you have to start. That's the beginning, is how much time does the individual have, and can he see the home stretch, so,
Yes.
The home stretch is super, super important. And then there's guys that were that, man, we had guys before Clinton came with the bill in 2000. When I got there, I was I was walking by a table and the guy had this big math problem. It was like this long. And I was like, I looked at him, I was like, what? I said, what are you doing? He was like, it's calculus. I was like, calculus? I said, on your own? He goes, no, I'm in college. I was like, college? They have college here? He was like, yeah. So these guys were getting degrees. And guys in there, people think because they're locked up, you're whatever. Chrissy, you were there. There's geniuses in there, like supreme, like super, super smart. So it's stupidity for them to think that everybody that's locked up is just some idiot. I know.
That's
I know. Yeah, the prison that I came from, Ferreton. I mean, we had some tragic stories of guys getting out, but we also had a lot of guys come home. I can name like 30 that are doing phenomenal, and they're like not in the drugs or anything. They have like businesses, like they're like regular people, like what I mean, nothing going on. So there's a lot of good too, on top of that.
Yeah, and I think if people have opportunity in prisons, like we watched an amazing documentary called College Behind Bars. It was Bard College went to, I think it was Rutgers mainly, and they beat Harvard, their debate team. And really, everyone that I had that have never been to prison watch it, they're like, they want to know how is Duan doing? And it's like, the guy said, no one ever loved me like that before. No one ever said, you need to go to college. And then for any human being, to a professor to sit across from them and say, let's talk about your thesis. And in a way that's like, wow, no one's ever asked me about what about my opinion of, social justice. And they were asked about it. And then I think when you're in addiction, whether it's, for money or drugs or whatever it is, you don't know what you're really good at. You know what you can do, but in that life, but you don't really know what you're good at. So when someone presents something to say, wow, I'm good at writing, I wonder what else I have, that I'm good at. It opens up a whole door, it's just, I love that. Love that.
Yeah. There was a lot of smart guys, a lot of guys, like super smart, very impressive. Yeah.
Can you imagine if they're all free?
So on that note, I just want to pull it back a few years. So Jared, when you were like 10, like what were you like in your home or in your neighborhood, in your friend group? Because I always find it very fascinating that there are these super intelligent people, and some have really good support systems around them. You had a great support system around you, and some.
You were one of those.
Well, not when you were 10.
No, sorry.
But
So
when you're 10, I mean, just when sorry, I was checking this out.
10 years, when I grew up in the county, Rockland County, that was, it was, I grew up with all different ethnicities, races, but it was like living in the South, but up north. It was probably the most southerly run county on the East Coast. A lot of racism, a lot of just like stupidity where I grew up, race wars when I was a kid. So I grew up in the backdrop of after the 70s, and there was like a lot of racial tension in my county. So when I was 10, it was terrorizing. It was terrifying to live in the suburbs and be mixed race when I grew up, because those places were just starting to get more diverse. Before it was like the country, it was all just European Americans. There was no mix. And then it started to get more integrated, and then it changed, So I was there when it was changing.
So then I hear you talk about current time and how you, while you were in prison, you wouldn't get institutionalized based on your thought process and the way that you, your perspective on things. So back then, how did you get caught up in something that everyone else was doing? When you were in prison, you weren't doing that. Does that make sense? When you were younger, you share the story maybe about how you got caught up and who it was that you got caught up with.
So getting caught up, basically, so my whole, I was never like a street dealer. I was just, all my guys were like college party dudes, so I grew up around a lot of kids that were going to college, and they just couldn't go where I could go in the city because I knew the city because I was born here. So, they were scared to go there, and I wasn't, because I knew everybody. So I was like the cat's paw, to go get illicit drugs. So.
What were you telling yourself about doing that and possibly getting in trouble? And did you not imagine yourself ever going to prison, or?
No, you're young, you think you're Superman.
Totally.
You're Superman when you're young. You're like, you're just like, you just like do anything, so with that testosterone, you're just like, fuck it, So some people like to jump off cliffs and ride motorcycles. I do that too when I was a kid. But my thrill was just throwing a whole bunch of illegal drugs in the car, driving, getting away with it. Like when I was a kid, I was like a daredevil.
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily living the
narcotic,
the fancy, expensive lifestyle. It was the thrill of the game and not what you got. Because we've talked to people that it was really living the cars and the houses and the money. That was their drug. That was what got them. You were the thrill of it.
Yeah, but we had the money came with it, but it wasn't anything crazy. I wasn't Scarface in a house, and I was a kid that was just running around, just hustling. I never had a mortgage. There was no all this things you see on the movie, this craziness like that. I didn't see any. I knew people who I saw around me, but I never was on that level, like crazy.
How old were you when you were doing all that?
I was older. 17, 18. Yeah.
Still young.
And then how long were you, what was your sentence?
My first sentence was a year, then I did 3 years, 9 months, and then I did 13 years, 3 months. So 18 and a half years altogether with little vacations in between.
And
This is my longest like forever vacation.
I
So
think
it feels
you're
good.
retired.
yeah, you've retired.
I'm retired, yeah.
I am retired from that.
Art is my 401k.
Yeah. And then speaking of art, did you know you were a good artist when you were 15, 16?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know, but I mean, when I would get bored, I would do things like make assemblages in my garage. Didn't even know what I was doing, Then, you read 20 years later, there's an artist named Duchamp who actually did that. He's titanically huge, and you were doing it. Sometimes you do things that, just by feel. So I was always tinkering, building since I was a kid, yeah. So, I mean, I get probably a lot of it out of boredom,
That's where you talk about the boredom.
Yeah.
So how are you working in your world that you're in? Are you working with incarcerated people specifically in any other way besides your art?
Where to begin? So
Say it all.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and we're also big about shouting out organizations
Yes.
that either you're involved with or that
Help
help
you.
I do a lot of collabos with, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I do a lot of collabos with Art for Justice. Of course, I'm in Nicole Fleetwood's book, Marking Time. So we just came off of
I want to talk about that. Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. So
that's why I first was like,
We'll say it again.
amazing.
Say it like so we can all, what was it?
So Nicole Fleetwood wrote the book, Marking Time. Then the exhibition was at PS1 in Long Island City. So, I mean, since then, been doing panels with Art for Justice, panels with Nicole Fleetwood, who just won the MacArthur. Amazing achievement amongst her other 70 awards. I can't even keep track. But yeah, so basically that's what kind of thrust me to the forefront is my association with all these exhibits and these organizations. Of course, Art for Justice doing great work. They deal specifically with ex-incarcerated. Not specifically just anything that deals with the carceral state and breaking it down, they want in. And then Jesse, who I was incarcerated with, is starting his own nonprofit, and it's called Right of Return. And what he's going to do is, I actually won the grant, my 4th year home, or 3rd or 4th year home, and what it'll do is it's going to fund an artist to do a project. 10,000 at the beginning, 10,000 at the end, and he's also going to have a physical residency. He's looking for space to do that right now, so that anybody that's incarcerated, they come home and they're an artist and they feel like they want to get into the art world. This will give them a push that they need. They'll learn everything there at the residency, so they'll have mentors there available for them.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then Mural Arts Philadelphia. I have a mural in Philadelphia, and I'm about to do another one with them. So who else? It would be like 30 minutes. I swear. It's not Brad. Like I can't. For me to go through, I should write it down and go through everybody. But it's crazy. There's no way for me to even write it down. I'd have to. Huh?
It's reminding me of Christy, actually. Christy, and I'll shout you out, but she's involved in so many things and so many people are coming to her left and right, all different types of things. And her eyes are wide open. She says yes. She's learning how to say no a little bit, kind of, not really. Because there's only so much time in the day and she needs to sleep. Otherwise, she would just be going nonstop, but it's because she's super open to it and she's super open to learning. And
I know, I was just going to sign on with this art. I'm like, how about if I know how to do a little bit of art? But
you do. She's good at
doing art right now.
I think, yes. Yeah. I think it's just when you're in prison, and even prior to being incarcerated, being in addiction, you're not living. I didn't know what I was good at. You're not living your full potential. And so now that I'm living my full potential, and I see the injustices of incarceration, and there's a space, and I can stand into my power of who I am without being concerned about what anybody else thinks. That's a powerful place to be in. I mean, I wish I could give that power to other people, but they have to find that on their own, because believe me, I try, but there's something so like magical, really is the only word that I can describe for that. And so that's why that's why we say yes. And that's why, like, as you're talking, I have a few people that are in our town that are out of prison and that are phenomenal artists that are just like off the chain crazy. And so I think, how does someone like that get in touch with you or Jesse?
I mean, they were just right now getting in touch with us it wouldn't help them in any way. I mean, because the best thing to do for them is you have to identify the artist community you live in first. First identify what kind of art you make. That's the most important thing. And then there's a path for each individual. There's 10,000 art worlds that exist. I'm just in one, even though I'm in New York. There's one that's in Oregon where you are. There's one that's in LA. They're all over the place.
I didn't know there was one in Oregon. Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's folk. I don't know what it is. I know it's got something to do with some big ass trees. Whatever it is.
There are some big ass trees and mountains.
Yeah.
And like,
that's awesome. Wow, that's cool.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can you tell us about the documentary?
Oh, so Jesse's documentary, yeah, it's filmed it's basically about his practice, but in it is me and my our friend Gilberto Rivera, who was incarcerated with us, and it was the three of us in the art room for like 3 years together before we all went home. So we stick together. We do exhibitions together, and we're pretty close knit. So we're in his documentary, telling about how he snuck, how we snuck Apocalyptine out, the big massive piece that he did in the prison bed sheets. So yeah, it's really interesting. And I mean, it's more than just Apocalyptine. It's all the other. He has a bunch of other pieces that he did in there too. So it's really good. So the premiere is going to be September 14th, New York City, West 4th Street. Right across from the Avenue Americas, right across from the basketball court you always see. They're always filming in New York. It's like the most famous basketball court in New York City. Pretty.
We're again. I'm telling you, New York is calling me. Woo!
Yeah, come check it out if you can. But it'll be in LA too, so it'll be closer to you. And
good.
We
want to come to New York.
Well, I for sure want to see the one in LA too, so I'll look and see.
Yeah.
Time is.
Yeah.
So what's the timeline for that documentary?
It's going on right now.
It's going all over. So it's going to all the film festivals. So Philly. It was in St. Louis, then Philly last weekend. Now New York, and then I think it goes after this. I got to look at this guy. I got to ask her.
And then how long do people have to like catch it?
Oh, I think it's like 2-3 days. I think it's the whole weekend. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And then, they also put it out afterwards so that you can see it.
So everyone can see it?
Yeah, so everyone can see it.
Oh, yeah. There's a link to it. And I'll find it for you. And I'll share it with you as soon as I find it. I have it in the email. It's buried, but I'll find it.
Yeah. That's the thing about really cool documentaries is we have a film festival here and I see some cool ones here. And then I want to tell everybody to watch it. And I don't know how they were supposed to see it. Right. I saw one like 5 years ago that's just now being advertised for everyone. And that was 5 years ago I saw that. So yeah, I just like to know how, everyone gets access. So that's
so great. It's just called Krimes, Krimes. And if you Google it, it'll come up. It'll come up.
What does that feel like to have to be around the guys that you were in prison with? I mean,
we're lucky.
To be like brothers with them outside of it.
That's a special camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, there's no way to duplicate it. It's like being in the military. There's only way you get those two places, prison where you get to know your brothers, So yeah, but I mean, all we did was make art. So we were just all day long talking about art, arguing about art. making art. We do the same thing out here. Like if you see us together, all we do is argue all day about art.
Can you
Things we
give
like.
us an example of how you argue about art?
Yeah, that's good.
I like Matisse. I love
love
Picasso
Matisse.
too, but Jesse hates Matisse. And
Oh, he does? Why? What does he say about it?
oh my God, it's a whole, you gotta ask him.
We don't know. Yeah, okay.
But I mean, he likes, we have like different tastes, but you know, probably 90% the same. The other 10% is just aesthetics that we'll argue about, you know.
And that's
And
just
some of us,
human. It's like any individual human, you know, we have our own.
yeah. My friend Gilberto, he's more attracted to classic art, you know, classicism, things like that. He likes the figure, things like that. That's what he's into. But you know, I try to stay away from the figure as much as possible. But he likes it, you know, and yeah,
I
that's
love
about it.
that they're your people, because I've met some of Christy's people, but they don't live here. So, but I can tell there's a special thing when you're with them.
There's just a knowing,
Yeah.
you know, there's just a quiet.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. It's esoteric. You can't even explain it to anybody.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's just a knowing, for sure.
So we're gonna peek at our feed really quick. Can you see it from where you're at?
Yeah, they're just saying, you know, making great comments.
Sending cool emojis. Is that Stephen J?
Yeah.
Cool emojis always. So we're doing this on a night that's not our normal night, so we're gonna have probably less comments.
But that's good.
Like in the moment. So that's good. We have our speed round. Is there anything else that you want to connect with?
Well, I just think that one of the biggest reasons that we want to do the freedom exchange is, like I said, to bridge communities. And then, you know, there's so many people out here in the world. COVID's a big thing, you know, but yeah.
Is it though?
Have you heard of it?
Is it though?
Maybe so. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
yeah, let's talk about that, sister. But
sorry.
When you're in prison and you're locked up and people are out here and there's restrictions and lockdown, we all have our theories about, you know, whatever's going on. Do you find it frustrating when you're out and you have people that have not been to prison, but they either complain or don't live up to their potential? Because I say people really live up to about 30% of what they're really capable of doing. And you find when you're in prison, like me, that I would never think I could do a 5-year stint. It's like, there's no way I could even do a day, but you find out what you can do. And so is there a way to bring that kind of tenacity out into the public?
Well, the secret is this. The secret is this.
No, secret.
Yeah, what's the secret?
We're all locked up out here. We're still locked up.
Yeah.
Everyone's still doing time. It's just under different. We're just in low minimum security right now.
It feels
That's
like
it.
Right?
And society better remember how they were treated the last like 18 months.
Yeah.
You know, because that you got to see what it felt like to have another human tell you where you can and can't go and give restrictions. Like, so everyone got a little taste of mass incarceration. They didn't like it. You know, they got a little taste of it and they were like, what the hell? So
yeah, it's really true. I remember I was running downtown and everyone had on masks. It was in the very beginning and I stopped and I started crying. It was like I had a traumatic feeling, like a PTSD, like this is prison. Like now I feel like we're back in prison. So and you think of all the people that are here and some are starting new businesses like this one right here. And some are still drowning in, you know, their stuff. So I guess I don't know if it depends on personality or what to get people to thrive under harsh circumstances. How do you get people to do that?
Yeah,
What would you advise people?
I mean, you know, it's sink or swim all across the board out here and there. You know, so it is what it is. There's no, I mean, on that note, I'm just, that sentiment, I'm of the opinion that everybody's responsible for themselves. So if everybody just takes responsibility for themselves first, everything will work out after that, you know, but nobody wants to be responsible for their stuff. You know, they're just like, everybody's just like, whatever, you know, and you see it all of the time. So, I mean, the government wants us to be responsible when we get in trouble. But they don't want to be responsible when they do shit, or, you know, elected officials, whatever. they don't, but they want you to take the weight, but not them. So that's the disconnect that exists right now.
Yeah, and that's what we saw in prison all the time.
Yeah.
But now we see that here. I have a question. What does your mom say about having your art in the One World Trade Center?
Number four, building 4.
Yeah. Four.
No, yeah, number 1.
The 4.
Yeah. That's prime real estate. No, she loves it. She's, she's super proud. So she's super happy. I mean, yeah, she's beaming pretty much, I can't wait to take her up there. She hasn't been up. When she comes up next time, I'll bring her up there, let her check it out.
That's good.
Yeah, she's super proud. She is. My whole family, my friends, everybody, they're like super proud. It's a good place to have visitors.
Nope.
And are you weren't close, your family was in another state, or do you have more people in your state, other family?
Oh, I got family West Coast here, Florida, all over.
Where on the West Coast?
LA, not LA. What's the name of that county? Riverside.
Riverside.
Yeah.
Way to Palm Springs.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Just
I got an uncle up there.
Okay, you were just there. Yeah, I have a speed
Okay,
round. Can
ready
I do
for
my
it?
speed round
Okay.
with you?
Okay, Jared,
Okay.
are you ready for the?
This is just a fun, quick thing so we could get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
So lemon or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Going deep
Chocolate,
right
okay.
away.
Yeah, that's important. On a scale of 1 to 10, how cool are you?
Oh my God. Depends on who's asking.
What do you
I don't know,
think?
5.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
wrong.
We say, wrong answer.
We say 11.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we know about you being an artist. What is your hidden talents?
Inquiring minds want to know that.
I am in Champions League in War Robots.
Can you
What?
explain
So
that?
I'm
Okay, we'll move on a little more.
I'm an elite player in a video game that probably none of you will ever see.
What's an
elite player.
What's it called?
War Robots.
War Robots.
Yeah.
You're a elite player. That's awesome.
No judgment. You get it, buddy.
I love it. An elite player. That's hard to get to that status.
Elite anything. Elite anything.
If you could see any band or performer, who would it be? Dead
Jimi
or alive?
Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
Prince. Well, I mean, it's a big list.
I'll go to Prince with you.
Prince.
Yeah.
Right.
So good.
What advice would you give your 10-year-old self?
Buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin? You're funny. You're funny. Really? Is that what you're doing, buying Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I'm curious about that stuff because I hear both sides of it.
I'll talk to him later.
There's only one side. It's gonna run the whole. This whole planet's getting ready to change. But I mean, that's a whole nother. Believe me, it's coming. It's here.
Yes. Okay. She's like, I'm not going that fast. Hold your horses. Okay. Where are you going on your next vacation? Or where would you like to go if you haven't planned it yet?
See the big ass trees in Oregon?
Thailand.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I do love Thailand.
Yeah.
You've been there
I've
before.
been
That's
there.
nice. Okay, lastly, describe yourself in 3 words you haven't used yet in this talk.
I have them.
Impossible.
Possible.
Bullheaded and creative.
Yeah.
And creative.
There's,
I would say inquisitive. I would say you're a challenger.
Oh yeah, we didn't really talk.
thank you.
I would say you're an individualist.
Yes.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, like we talked about we talked about belief systems, and we maybe
You guys connected on that for
or
sure.
we disagreed. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Maybe we just had different.
Oh,
we had
beliefs, yeah.
different words about it, but I love the idea of you're kind of fluid with just like you want to take it all in and do you and not get boxed in. You don't into.
Yeah. I like to just observe.
An observer.
Yeah, I like to be observant because that's where all the magic is when you observe.
Hmm.
There's that everything,
You're also a doer. You're not just an observer. You're also a doer.
Oh yeah, you act. You definitely you gotta act on what you observe. Definitely, 100%. But you have to be a watcher.
Is there anything that you're surprised about? Like, so you observe something and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm surprised about that thing on the side that you observed.
Wow, what's that?
That
I want to know all what that noise was about.
I'm surprised about.
Yeah. Is there anything recently that
people
maybe
or-
changed
Yeah.
your perspective?
I'm surprised how ignorant people are right now
Mm-mm.
with this whole political I'm super surprised. I'm not gonna say it's no surprise. I'm gonna say I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
What people are doing right now, no matter what side they're on, is the antithesis of who you are. It's people just clinging to a belief system, no matter what side, and just riding it till they die, no matter
question.
Yeah, without questioning. And you are so about the question.
Ideologues. Yeah, I don't do like people who are ideologues. So they get stuck in it's like ideologues and fascism. It's like you can't separate them.
Yeah.
They're married. So I'd rather just sit back and watch them and then just.
I wonder why that is.
Well, it's working for you. I mean, you're attractive in the sense of being like a positive guy to talk to and an encouragement, and you're doing really cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to. If everybody says they want the system to change, not everybody does. A lot of people love the system the way it is, but Christy knows. That the system is messed up. It's definitely wrong. I'm talking about all the systems. I mean, it's not just the prison system. Everything is intertwined and interconnected. So. The next generation, if they don't get educated about these things, they'll repeat it as they go through school. Like your daughter's going through school, nobody's going to be there to be like, hey, we need to put a stop to this. We need to start thinking about how we treat our citizens. Somebody has to. Everybody needs to contribute to ending that because it holds everything back. We could be 20 years in the future right now, but we got to keep stopping the mess with like drug. It's crazy. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're at least 20, 25 years behind of where we should be right now.
Yeah, definitely. It's because it's heavily dragging us back.
Yeah, we got to do. It's just.
Well,
it's
and
politics.
we take care of ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Give the example and encourage others. Is there anything, Jared, before we say goodbye to you, before we come to New York, is there anything?
Let me know. Come.
Oh, we're calling you. That's not even
Well, it was
in the
so
question.
funny because Jared sends us a video of his view, beautiful New York City. It's just fabulous and sparkly.
Yeah.
And a picture of our view was like red tree.
My neighborhood.
I love your view. I love the country too.
Yeah.
We got the country.
We're in the country.
Yes, we're
country. Surrounded by mountains. We're not, definitely not. Yeah.
We're not cities.
Surrounded by mountains.
I love the country too. So I grew up, my county I grew up in is not the city. We're in Harriman State Park. So my backyard was like the Autobahn, and then I had the Hudson River. I had, it was big trees, beautiful snowfall, great summer. So yeah, the weather, I mean, it's still the sticks. We got sticks up here. Believe me, New York has sticks. Like we got sticks, just different looking sticks,
But it's something about if you're in this like inspiring this place, a magical place. It's about going to a place that's inspiring too. You're inspiring though, Allison.
Yeah. Oh,
inspiring.
But she's starting her own business now,
nice.
Which is from the ground up and doing the whole thing. And today, you retired from your other job, and that's a big deal on your own to start.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm proud of you for that.
It's the challenger in me, Jared. I just got to keep challenging myself.
That's right.
So we're gonna say goodbye, sadly, but I wanted to know, this is your last moment, last thing you want to say to our audience. We are about bridging communities and squashing stigma of those that have been incarcerated and now are amazing people, no matter what they're doing.
Always been amazing. They just had some opportunity now.
Yeah. So is there anything you want to send out in the world before we say goodbye?
Yeah, thank both of you. And I mean, anybody that wants to follow my work, it's Jared Owens, JAREDOWENS 111 on Instagram. That's basically how I get in contact with everybody. It's the best way. The webpage is too long. Yeah, and that's it. Just there's going to be a lot of different art coming out right now. You'll see. I'll post it. And I'm just staying busy. There'll be exhibitions next year. I'll announce. They'll be on Instagram. So if you follow me on IG, I'll announce. And if you're in the city, swing through.
Yes,
You know?
and
And marking
we have a
time.
link.
Yeah, and Marking Times is in Alabama right now. So it's the second museum that it's in. So it's traveling right now
Is
also.
it going to come through LA? Or
I don't know. I don't know what the itinerary is. I know it's like, I think it's here for like 4 months or 5 months.
Okay.
And then it goes, so they have like a schedule. Then I guess they just keep adding different venues, you know, as time progresses. Yeah. So definitely.
Congratulations.
Well, we
We're
will
so
put
proud of you.
all of your stuff in our show notes because that's a
Thank
lot
you.
of good information to leave with our viewers.
Thank you.
We've enjoyed this as much as we knew we were going to enjoy it.
Thank you.
And
Me
we will
too.
talk about you for the next 2 hours on our hike.
Thank you.
so much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
All right.
night.
Blessings to you. Have a
Amazing.
good night.
All right. Love you both. All
Okay,
right.
bye.